Alright my friends, welcome back. We've covered static, relative, absolute and fixed positioning. In this video, we will look at sticky positioning, a special type that combines the best of relative and then fixed. So it toggles between relative and fixed. How sticky works. When you position an element sticky, it positions the element relative to its nearest crawlable container. I know that is big, but I'm going to break it down with code. It behaves like relative until a scroll threshold is reached. Once its threshold is hit, like top 0, it behaves like fixed, but only inside its parent container. Alright, how do we display this in code? So, in code, let me take all this off. Let me just take all this thing off. Okay, everything as well. So let's say we have this, and let's put a wrapper. Okay, just this box 1. So we can have it like this. Then we can just say .bx border of say 2 pixels solid red. So all of them have that border. We can say width of say fits the contents, which is the text inside that element. And then we can say margin of top to so they can have space around. So if you top and right, you can see 6 pixels. Then left and right, you can see 0 because we don't want any other thing to happen there. Alright then my friends, and below this I'm just going to say I'm going to use a lorem ipsum text. I'm going to say lorem of 100 words. So we have lorem of 1. You can see that this is scrollable. Everything is scrolling. So how do we make this thing sticky? So when you say, for instance, let's say this container here dot container position sticky, position sticky. So what this means that it is relative and it is also fixed. It is relative like this. So for now nothing is happening, but if we say top 0, what we've just done now, we are saying that when this thing reach the scrolling threshold, it is going to act as fixed. So when we say top 0, if I scroll this thing and the container gets to the top of the browser, it will act as fixed. So see, you can see that I am scrolling, but it is fixed at the top. And if I scroll down again, it is relative to, that means it takes in its original position. It toggles between being relative and being fixed. So when it gets to its scrolling position, it is fixed. When it comes out from the scrolling position, it becomes relative. It goes back to its original position. You can see that nothing is occupying its space. You can see for now it is scrolling, but when the scrolling is out, it gets back to its original space. That is what sticky does. It toggles. Toggles means switch. It switches between relative, being relative, and then being fixed. But remember that this is respect to its parents. Okay, let me buttress this point so you can get the clear picture of this. So if we give this an height, for instance, let's give this an height of say 200 pixels, 200 pixels, and then a border of 2 pixels solid green, 2 pixels solid green. Then we have this, so you can see everything is scrolling. But then we want to make this stuff inside this container scroll, because by default what is happening, this container that is position sticky is in respect to its parent called the body. That is why. But what about if this container, if all these things, these children inside the container were scrolling? We can make one of the children to be sticky so that all others can also scroll. So for us to do that, we can say dot, we can choose the child that we want to make sticky. For instance, let's say 1. We can say position sticky, and then you can say top 0. So if we just try to make this thing, duplicate all these things to make it long, you can see that if we scroll, sorry, I'm just going to take these parents off to be sticky, so it affects just the child. Alright, you can see that if we scroll, you can observe that okay, let's make this, give this in a background color of yellow, so it can be visible, yellow. And then, so look at what I am saying now. When I am scrolling, you can see that the box 1 is sticky, but not to the parents, not to the body parent, but to the container parent. You can see it is sticky, but immediately the container parent, the height of the container parent is finished, you can see that it goes inside the browser because it is relative to its parents. So that is what I want you to get. It is relative to its parent. So when we did for the container was relative to the body element, which is this. But we did for the box 1, you can find out that it is relative to the container. So when the height of the container is finished, you can see that that effect no longer take place again. So by conclusion, sticky is like an hybrid between relative and fixed. It's perfect for sticky table headers, section titles, or navigation within a specific container. Now you understand all 5 CSS positioning types: static, relative, absolute, fixed, and sticky. Alright, thank you guys, and then see you in Flexbox class.